Hi everyone. What I want to talk about in this video is that a wheelchair is not your prison cell. Or even to make it more personal than this, your wheelchair is not intended to be your prison cell. What it's meant for is to promote your independence, encourage safety, and improve your quality of life. And I want to spend a few minutes talking about these three components. So for promoting independence, it's like you're becoming a child again as you start using a wheelchair and learning how the world works. And then more specifically, your place in the world. When you first get your wheelchair, I would encourage you to ask all kinds of questions, logistical questions. And where you can ask these questions, it's going to be especially helpful if your community has it, would be on a paratransit transportation service. So the community bus service where you encounter other people in wheelchairs is an excellent resource when you're figuring out how to do things. Another place is going where people in wheelchairs go. It's going to be a little different in each community, but I'm thinking about things like big box stores, soup kitchens. There's no shame in attending a soup kitchen, even if you have the financial means and you're there for the social aspect of this. That is one of the needs that they fill in people's lives. I'm thinking about when you're out in public and you just encounter somebody. There is, most cases, time to talk. Asking a nursing home if you could talk to their activities coordinator for a few minutes, or a social worker would be another component at a hospital if you had an accident and you're going through rehabilitation. If you have a personal support worker, that's another excellent resource. More than just coming and helping you shower, make your bed, and get your laundry and dishes done. Engage in conversation and milk their brains of practical logistics of how you can live your life. The wheelchair is to live. It's not to sit there and occupy your body. It's more than a chair that's at a table. It's now become part of your body to get you around and to do the things that you would like to do and that perhaps you did before you were in a wheelchair. They may have to be modified, but just as an example, not more than 25 minutes from my home is a sailability program. That is where people in wheelchairs are lifted in their wheelchair and then put on a crane and lowered down, and they're taken out in sailboats during the summer months. There's opportunities to do things in a modified way so that you can live and really enjoy life. And the independence part of this is that you're not bound to a bed, or you're not bound to a chair where you're isolated from people. You need to have contact with people face to face. I'm not downplaying the internet, the support groups, and peers that are in other countries, so when you're awake at night, you have someone to talk to. What I'm talking about is not isolating yourself from the community around you. You need them as much as they need you. And don't forget that I've said that. It's another side lesson in all this. It's also to encourage your safety. It's about recognizing the shortcomings of your body and giving you a solution to this. In other words, before and just as I was getting a wheelchair, I was prone to falling. That is, standing up and one or both of my hip joints seizing. And it's very scary when it happens. I'm dealing with the same in my knee joints now. So I understand the feeling that goes with it, that there's really not words to associate with it. But it's about getting you around to where you need to go. And all that you need for safety is the training on how to use a wheelchair. That's about 6 hours of someone coming alongside of you. Do this, don't do that. Slow down your wheelchair maybe in certain situations. Being aware of what's around you. Hearing the cues of vehicles. And if you're out at night where signs reflect off of the light of vehicles. And it's just about being aware of what's around you so that you're equipped to respond and you're not putting yourself in harm's way on account of using a wheelchair. As you get to use a wheelchair for longer periods, it becomes more comfortable. I can tell you in all honesty that I avoided getting a wheelchair for as long as possible. And I was in this struggle with myself not wanting one, but wanting to be able to go out and enjoy life. And if you spend any time on my YouTube channel, especially some of my do-it-yourself videos, you'll understand how much I enjoy doing things. So I was in this struggle, but it was obvious that at 33 years old, I was either going to be homebound or accepting using a wheelchair. So I just kind of dove in off the deep end, so to speak, and learned everything that I could. In fact, creating this YouTube channel is part of those efforts. It's that I was going to learn as much as possible about this lifestyle and then help as many people as possible while I tried to get help for myself and my own healthcare treatment. These videos are really more than making noise. I'm wanting to come alongside of you in the areas where you need it to get you thinking about your life and either helping answer questions or get you hungry for what you can do because of having a wheelchair and not seeing it as a discipline or feeling like you're in trouble because you have one. There's going to come a time when someone around you in the community is going to make a off-the-cuff comment that's going to be offensive. Some of these things just need to let roll off of you because that person's not in your situation and doesn't have the true appreciation that you have because of a wheelchair being in your life and what it means to you. Off-the-cuff comments often come from the lack of understanding and education. There are times when I respond to criticisms. There's times where no amount of exclamation is going to make a difference to someone trying to puff themselves up and build themselves up at your expense. At that point, you just need to move on with life and, as best as possible, not let it bother you. So the quality of life, again, is being able to go when you're wanting to go. Wheelchairs can take you outside. You can go out for coffee, you can go to church, you can go to the community center, you can go grocery shopping. I remember when I first did that with the wheelchair, and it was great being able to get my own groceries again as I was starting to think about my life and making sense of how I would do everything all over again. So it's about boosting and improving your life. The wheelchair, as I've said in other videos, is a fact about you. It's not your identity. It does dictate some parameters, like you need a ramp to get into a home, but it's not to keep you from not being engaged in life. It's to empower and to equip you to live the best life possible. I've said a lot in this video. Some of it's going to need to be watched a second time for you to get everything that I have for you. I just want you to understand that if you need a wheelchair, I'm genuinely sorry that you're in the situation where you're needing one. But having said that, if it's your next step in life, the same as if you were facing a decision to move to another city because employment was there and there was a job waiting for you, would you not make that move? And in the same way, would you not use a wheelchair if it's the next step for you in life? And especially if it's going to give you back the best life that's possible for you. I want to ask you to think about that. I enjoy making these videos for you. If there's logistical questions you have for me, practical questions, I'm happy to talk about anything in a respectable way. Whatever it is that the needs are in your life, just let me know. Even if it means sending me a private message, I'm happy to listen and try my best to present the information you're looking for. Thanks so much for this time that you've spent with me today. Bye for now.